brought to you by Sports Plus. In the Sports Debate Show, we welcome your thoughts. Say what you gotta say, so speak your mind freely. I'm your host for tonight, Kyla Cortez, and joining me are Ael Banal and Coach Hammer, Martin Antonio. What is up, guys?
Good evening.
Happy Friday. Finally, it's Friday, no?
Yep, another weekend, another big sports weekend.
Yes.
And itong paparating sa atin, and hopefully all of you guys are safe and not stuck in traffic on this Friday night.
It is very, very traffic tonight given Friday nga. But again, to, our usual, sports na naman. May exciting at malaking nangyayari kagabi. Pag-uusapan natin yan tonight. To our viewers, you may comment down your thoughts, your questions. So, simulan na natin. Our hot takes for tonight. Unang-una, Gila's statement win over Tall Blacks. Second, who's a bigger surprise, Dubs or Cavs? Our last hot take, that's Zara named FIVB EVP, Big Help for Pilipinas Volleyball. Pag-usapan natin yan mamaya. And then of course, our NBA recap and SPN expert picks. So, guys, ready na? I'm sure you guys are ready because very excited kayong pag-usapan to.
Right.
Diba?
Right. Very, very different yung feeling ko now, knowing that for the first time in a long time, in a couple of weeks, parang wala tayong ini-expect na bagyo this weekend. So parang medyo nakaka-relieve lang na, guys, if you're tuning in, comment lang kayo, and very relaxing yung pag-usapan natin about sports tonight. So yeah.
So, pag-usapan na natin. Actually, kailangan pa ba explain? Alam kong lahat ng nanonood aware dito, no? But again, Gilas Pilipinas against New Zealand. Finally, after ilang harapan, finally we caught shit.
Yeah, dahil we caught them at the best time. Some of our players are still coming off that Governor's Cup Championship in tip-top shape. Maliit lang yung window na kinailangan natin. Of course, Kai Soto finally getting out of his shell, maturing his body, looking really fresh and looking healthier than ever. Justin Brownlee needed this game.
Yep.
He needed this game to bounce back from that forgettable Game 6 in the PBA Finals. And again, you gotta give credit where credit is due. We played wonderful defense. We competed all the way and took care of that game.
Ael?
What stuck out for me the most was right before the game, I think the day of the game, parang may interview si Coach Tim Cone. And they were talking about how the Tall Blacks, New Zealand, they were going through a change of coaching, right?
Yes.
So bago yung coach, bago yung system. And so maraming changes doon. However, regardless, Coach Tim said, I don't think they have ever seen a lineup that we're gonna field in tonight. To me, that if your general is saying that on the day of the game itself, iba yung confidence ng Gilas natin ngayon. And that was key. For the first time in a really long time, I don't think I've ever felt that confidence from our Gilas team. Meron puso, meron laban. Iba yung kumpiyansa na hindi. Teka, iba yung team na papalaro namin tonight. And it showed. We had a lot of great different combinations put in. A lot of new chemistry that we were able to witness, and at the end of the day, yung pinaka-importante was the victory. And so, nakaka-proud maging Filipino.
Very basic. Ako, biggest takeaway ko dito is finally Kai Soto is healthy. And papaalala ko lang sa lahat na nakatutok sa atin, bendito sa si Kai Soto. The past few years, he has been battling back problems, numerous injuries dahil if you're that tall, I mean, as you grow up, there would be minor kinks along the way, and if you're locking yourself in the weight room, shout out Coach Mel Lantin, one of the best strength coaches here, one of the godfathers, sabay pa na Sir Herken. He is working with Kai, Kuya Irv, and he's really healthy, and the competition internationally, especially in Japan where he is playing right now, really helped him mature. Ito na yung nakikita natin. Ito yung, di ba dati marami tayong hinihingi kay Kai, pero nakakalimutan natin na bagets ba yung bata?
Yes.
Bagets ba to? And some of the numbers that he put up, it's really impressive. Almost a triple-double, but the way that he got his points, the way that he that he was moving in the floor against grown men. Yun yung pinaka-biggest takeaway. And you're looking at Carl Tamayo, Kevin Kiambao, Scotty Thompson as their veteran. As their veteran yan eh. And yung mga papaakit na mga bata, yung mga nakikita natin, ang lalaki eh. Yung sila Luis Pablo na residency, the Seven Gagate, yan yung mga batches na paparating na, uy, teka lang, ang lalaki na ng mga bata na we're looking to compete really dito sa Asia-Oceania region dahil kalaban nga natin dito Australia and New Zealand. That's the biggest the biggest threat for those Olympic spots. But the future really looks bright for our squad.
So I have a question, no? Given the changes of Gilas Pilipinas lineup, coaching, or their system from last year, ano sa tingin niyo yung big difference?
Well, management, for one. Right now, it's very clear that boss Al Francis Chua and his golden touch is really affecting the squad.
Yes.
Make clear, meron ng clear hierarchy. It's Coach Tim, supported by the San Miguel group and the MVP group for the national team. They have the players on the stables. We're on the. I hope it's not yet the last legs of Junmar Fajardo because he is really one of the stabilizers there. And Japet recently retired na nga from Gilas active duty, but he is always one call away sa national team duties. But again, we have a hierarchy, we have a program, and down to the juniors level with Coach L.A. Tenorio, Kuya L.A. Goes and fight. Siya na yung in-announce na head coach ng under 18 as expected. So meron na tayong build-up na from under 18 feeder program. We find the best talents and then they go up the level and hopefully we can hold on and really talent identification.
Yes.
Mahanap natin yung mga Pilipinong bata na importante kasi talaga sa international competition. Sa ayaw man at sa gusto natin, kailangan meron kang size and athleticism.
But I just want to ask, no, kung for Coach Hammer ang big difference ay yung management, but when it comes to their playing style or mismong galawan nila last night, sa tingin mo ba may big difference?
Yes. Let me break it down for you.
Yes.
So the big difference is for the longest time under Coach Chot, diba? We've embraced and played small.
Yes.
So dribble drive, run and gun, tira sa labas, kahit maliliit tayo, lalabanan natin through speed. You know, best point guard in Asia, Jason Castro. I think what Coach Tim was referring to na iba yung lineup na makikita na hindi pa sanay yung New Zealand before the game was if you look at the height,
Laki natin.
malaki tayo. Kumbaga parang for the first time ever, ang Pilipinas hindi siya yung maliit na team na magaling mag-basketball. Yung frontline natin, ay parang match-up na to sa world standards, not just Asian standards, world standards. We had Kai and can I just say, very underrated. I'm loving seeing the GOAT play at a high level in the international stage. Na wala tayong nag-worry na, malaki si Junmar pero mas mabagal siya sa international system. Hindi, kahapon hindi natin naramdaman yun. And ang ganda ng combination nila ni Kai Soto. So, for me, physically, we're catching up to the world. That's a very, very good sign. And sinabi nga ni Coach Hammer na wala pa dyan sina KQ, sina Carl Tamayo, who are legit small forward heights that can compete physically in the world stage.
7'6", 8",
So this is very, very exciting. In terms, and I do agree with Coach Hammer na, nagpalit tayo ng coaching staff pero appointing Coach Al as the main guy has really put the position na, okay, may sort of continuity and uniformity na as opposed to si Coach Tim lang yung nilagay doon. And so, very, very exciting news. Good start for us. We're 3-0 and if you're a Filipino basketball fan, you're loving this. Yeah.
I have one more question. Usapan din doon sa social media na there's this one opponent na nag-post about the referee being unfair, being biased to us Filipinos.
Baka Filipino din siya.
So, hindi. Okay, fine. New
baka
Zealand player. Pero, ano ba? Kamusta ba ang referees natin last night?
Ako, ito nga yung paborito kong sagot nung nag-family feud kami isang araw. Paborito kong
By the way,
ginagawa,
napanood ko yun,
magreklamo sa referees. Ang hirap din kasi mag-officiate, lalong-lalo na pag-international game. Hindi ka makakatawag ng tama every time dahil laging kukontrahin ang kabilang coach. It's simple as that. But if they can sleep at night, making the right calls, there won't be a perfect game. But if it's a call, it's a call. That's what players do. They play, referees officiate. But at the end of the day, ako personal na paniniwala ko, para hindi ka maapektuhan ng mga bad calls, talunin mo na. Parang celebration yan eh. Pag ayaw mo nag-celebrate yung kalaban, ayaw mo niyayabangan ka, talunin mo na. Para hindi ka iyak-iyak. Pangit eh. Pangit yung ganun.
But let's talk about our imports naman, no? About Brownie and talagang nagpakita naman ng gigas
Bawi.
talaga si Brownie.
Bawi.
But let's compare him to Clarkson.
Ako kasi, ang take ko lang dyan, ang gusto ko naglalaro para sa team ko. Yung gustong maglaro para sa team ko. Hindi yung mga pipilitin mo pa. Kailangan pa natin makiusap para maglaro. It's understandable that Jordan Clarkson just... I think he renewed his contract right now. And I might be wrong, but again, he has contractual obligations. It's the NBA season, so that's that. Pero kasi yung Brownie, priority niya to eh.
Yes.
Ba't ka naman pupunta dun sa option ka lang kaysa dun sa priority ka? Doon ka sa priority kasi alam mo na, sabi nga ni the great Robert Jaworski na pagka hiniwa mo, nakikita mo parang dinuguan na rin yung laman ng katawan. Eh. So, kung Kuya Justin yung laban para sa atin, doon tayo sa laban. Hindi yun doon sa pakiusapan pa. Di ba? Yun, personal take ko lang yun. That is not an expert opinion, by the way. That's my personal opinion. That if you want to build a program, you want players to want to be part of the program. Hindi yung pipilitin mo pang maging parte.
I agree.
Right.
What about you, Al?
For me, in terms of operation or technicality, Justin Brownlee would be a perfect fit for our Gilas team because you can put him at the 3 and late in the game we saw yesterday, nag-slide siya sa 4 and ang nasa loob si Chris Newsome, Scotty, and syempre si Dwight, and it was still effective. So mas flexible siya compared kay JC na medyo repetitive before, 'di ba? Medyo repetitive yung position niya with Stanley Pringle, with Jason Castro. I think we just have more flexibility with Justin Brownlee. And at the end of the day, matagal na naglalaro si Justin Brownlee sa atin. So parang dugong Pinoy na talaga.
Oo. At saka yung ang totoo nating import dyan si Kai Soto. Hindi si Brownie. Kasi si Brownie parang Pinoy na rin eh. Nag-adapted na yung maglaro. Madiin lang kasi of course he is an American. He plays like that. Pero ang totoong key part dyan, kung titignan nyo, nagpapagana sa lahat yan si Kai eh. Kasi si Kai, pag sabay sila ni Junmar, 4. Pag nilagyan mo ng mas maliit, nagiging 5. Tapos, nagiging effective yung mga shooters, nagkakaroon ng driving lanes. Kasi kahit 5 siya, umaabot na siya doon sa corner, may tira sa labas. Kaya kita mo kahapon, ilang mga swing papunta kay Dwight. Ilang breakdown ni Dwight, kick out. So, mas gumagaan yung trabaho ng maraming tao. Kaya yung import natin local, hintayin nyo pag nagsabay na yung KQ, yan, at saka pag kayong gagate na bigyan ng time, at saka yung Amos pag nahinog. Ang lalaki ng mga Pilipino. Kasi, sorry, entrenched ako sa college sports eh. Nakikita ko na in a few years, magiging problema. And hopefully, magkaroon tayo ng foothold dyan sa FIBA Asia, like how the batches nila, minention ko kayo, nila Nika Berami ng Iran during that decade na hawak-hawak nila yung Asia.
Yeah. Sorry, going back to that one person who said na yung calls ng referee, I just checked the stats and natambakan natin ang New Zealand sa rebounds. So, for me, that shows our dominance inside and it's hard to really judge na nanalo tayo because of the calls if we have statistically talagang lamang na lamang tayo. So, nagulat ako doon. Lamang tayo sa rebounds kalaban ng New Zealand.
Ano yan, New Zealand? Hindi taga New Zealand yan. Kasi naglaro sa Pilipinas. Dalawa lang nangyayari dito. Nagkagulo o dinaya. Siyempre, walang natalo sa Pilipinas. Wala, dito kayo naglaro. Wala, dinaya. Hindi naman nagkagulo eh. Di ba? Yun lang, biro lang. Pero, I mean, a win is a win. We take it and you gotta tip your hat to Coach Tim. And special shout out, winning play, Coach Josh Reyes. On that knocking down.
I guess it's time for us to move on to our second hot take for tonight. So, who's a bigger surprise, Dubs or Cavs? So, we can look at their season averages here with Cleveland and Golden State Warriors. No? Sa tingin nyo, sino nga ba ang bigger surprise?
Tinuro ako ni Coach Hammer kasi alam niya favorite team ko ang Dub Nation. And yun ang pipiliin ko. I think the bigger surprise for me, so may bias to ng konti, are the Dubs because last year the Cavs went to the Eastern Conference semifinals. So malakas yung Cavs. What's really surprising sa Cavs, yung dominance nila eh. Alam na natin na buo yung pyesa nila. Pero this year, they're really just dominating all over the East, di ba? So that's surprising for the Cavs. But for me, for the Dubs, let's, trading Clay or getting rid of
Yes.
Clay, talagang even as a Dub fan, parang medyo in the back of our minds, we're already thinking na, okay, kailan kaya tayo babalik sa glory days natin? We have to milk whatever we have with Steph and Draymond. Is it the end? And for Golden State to be at the top this year, for me, it's very, very surprising. To the point na parang it's too good to be true. Na parang we're like, okay, kailan na sila bababa sa reality? But so far, we're enjoying it, and they're really playing at a high rate. I love the splash buddies, and so we'll see.
Okay, ako, Golden State din.
Okay.
Golden State din. Kasi ako, I always like young teams kasi there's always room for growth. You can, the natural coach in me would see that, this is how things would be going. The moment that they got Evan Mobley, and then they got Donovan Mitchell, now they have pieces, complementary piece. So Jared Allen, complementary piece. And the biggest part was, nagpalit sila ng coach. And yung coach nila, madiin. So Kenny Atkinson, really a good coach. But on the flip side, kaya ako pinili yung Golden State. Nobody expected them to be this good. Offensively and defensively. Yeah, we know that they would drain threes, but a lot of guys are on kung si Buddy Hield nga, parang fourth leg of his career na to. Fourth try na to. And he found this place. And this team is really a sight to behold. Even if ngayon nalilito pa rin ako kay Jonathan Kuminga kung ano ba talaga ang gagawin niya. Dahil whenever I watch him, he is such a specimen. Pero he just doesn't know how to drive that sports car. Parang ganun siya eh. Pero as long as Steph is there, the system is there, they've been lights out from the outside, they've been sharing the basketball. Key part dyan, number 1 in assists. If you average 22 assists, you're a very good passing team. If you're averaging 30 assists, it means that you're really trying to find the best shot. And that's one. And they're one of the better defensive teams this season. Top 5 sila when you're looking at defensive efficiency, and they're able to dot shots. Pag sinabing dot, challenge shots, hindi sila tumatalon, lagi lang sila nasa harapan ng binabantayan nila, and they're able to control the boards, they can run. Yun yung malaking bagay for their attack, and they're not just top 6 heavy. Yun yung nagpa-champion sa kanila eh. The starters, with Iguodala and Livingston. Yan. Tapos si Kevon Looney na dumating na, and then lagi sila may pang-pitong piece na gumagalaw. But ngayon, 12 na yung kalaban mo eh. Dumidepensa. Ganun talaga. And this is good for the NBA. This is good for us fans because we got so accustomed with the Bay Area having such a good team, such an entertaining team. And they are still very entertaining now, but it's a different type of entertainment na mas naging para na silang NBA team na nagpapasahan, hindi na sila top-heavy. Pati yung Lakers, gano'n na rin. Kanina pinanonood ko eh. Ay, okay yung Lebron na. Okay, pumapasa na off the double team. And that's the trend now. The heroes that we had are moving on, and we have younger guys. And basketball is going back to its purest sense na hindi na siya ball dominant one-on-one. Screen and roll pa rin, but it involves a lot more actions on everybody from the floor.
Yes. So since you guys mentioned na ang bigger surprise dito ay ang Golden State Warriors, let's talk about Steph Curry. How is he doing? Is this season average 23 points good?
Sige, El, una ka kasi ikaw yung I would defer to you.
It's okay. For the past few years, this is not his best scoring year. You can argue that he was injured a couple of times early on this year. What does this tell you? I think they're moving the ball more. If in the past they're solely relying on Steph to put on the heavy load for the scoring, and they haven't succeeded, only because he probably doesn't have help in the past. This year, they're succeeding with him having to do less. I think it's going back to their former days where he can operate off the ball. And he is a magnet that wherever he runs, everyone's looking, and it gives another opportunity for the others to step up and score the ball. And, it's producing results. So, is this going back to quote-unquote strength in numbers? I'm afraid so. And Steph is gonna have his scoring rampage somewhere along the season, but for me, it's working. They're winning, and it might even take them far.
one thing that you need to understand with the NBA, it's a very long season. It's a very long season. Okay, sige, you play back-to-back, you average 23, but you save the legs for the money rounds. Save the legs for the money rounds. NBA Cup doesn't count. It doesn't count. It's just for the... Para nga, ulitin ko, sabi nga ni Cap Allen pa siya, para to sa fans. But again, the real story here is if you're going to get into the playoffs, the freshest team and the healthiest team, more often than not, takes care of business. That's number one. Number two, and more importantly, the question here is, how is he doing this at this sustained rate with all the injuries that he faced? Biggest question, how much he lifts, how much he gets himself in shape, and he lifts like a Mac truck. Itong si Steph Curry. Akala nyo lang po, payat, pero pag nakita nyo siya in person, batak.
Let me also remind you guys of what transpired a couple of months ago in France. Steph Curry wasn't doing so well in the knockout round, but what happened in the semifinals and in the finals where it mattered the most? So could we see that happening in the playoffs again? Yes. It's a long season, Coach Hammer, like what he said, but 23 points per game is not a reflection of what Steph can do when it matters the most.
My guy, this guy's unanimous MVP. He has that in the DNA, and he is proven. I just want him to be healthy. Might be another run. I don't know. But again, if Steph Curry's doing well, if LeBron is still doing well, the old guard, the vanguards are still doing well, I'm all for it.
Okay, before we move on to our next hot take, last question ko na lang, no? Sa tingin nyo, ano ang pwedeng gawin ng Golden State Warriors to really, be better given the changes of the team?
Trade 3 pieces and get Giannis Antetokounmpo to that squad. Kevon Looney, Jonathan Kuminga, 2 draft picks, and pick of the litter among the guards. Get Giannis to the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, echoing what Coach Hammer is saying, yes, we need one more to really be talaga, okay, laban na tayo. One more superstar will help me go night-night at night.
Okay, our third hot take for tonight.
Night, paborito ng mga Pilipino yun.
Lahat nagagano.
Kahit yung tira, balibag tayo. Pag na-shoot, night.
Hindi ka naman nagsisinungaling.
Hindi. I am here. I told my upcoming child and my child, I would never lie on a nationally syndicated live stream. Ay, ganun yung tira. Pag na-shoot, night.
Ipapas pa eh.
Kahit yun lang yung na-shoot buong gabi. Okay, back to the ball game.
For the content Basta may camera lahat gagawin.
Okay, again guys, our next hot take. So, that's Cesar named FIVP, EVP, Big Help for Filipinas Volleyball. So, Ramon Cesar, who was elected president of the Asian Volleyball Confederation in September, has achieved another milestone. So, this is being appointed by Executive Vice President of the International Volleyball Federation. Given that Ramon Cesar is a Filipino, no? Sa tingin niyo ba talagang makakatulong to for our country, for Filipinas volleyball?
Wow, going back to my roots, kasi I started covering sports with volleyball. And sila Sir Tats, sila Sir Tony Boy was one of the really shakers and movers. Sila Sir Ricky Polu on the defunct V-League, Banon Shakey's V-League. That's where I started. And I see the sport grow, covering college, covering the pros. And this will be monumental for Philippine volleyball. Kasi number one, a lot of people, a lot of bigwigs have been investing on volleyball to grow, and we've seen it grow exponentially the past few years. And our pro league is one of the up and coming pro leagues in Asia right now, and we're getting a lot of talent influx dumarating dito na de-develop from our grassroots to our grassroots to collegiate to the pros. Ang laking bagay. And then now, you put our main guy, one of our main decision makers into the international governing body of volleyball. It bodes well because there would be double-edged sword. Titignan na ngayon, yung Pilipinas, kamusta ba yung development nila? Nakaka-compete na ba sila sa mga teams sa Thailand, sa Indonesia? Doon na, Southeast Asia na muna kasi dito tayo eh. Pero yung FIVB kasi we're looking at the worlds. We're looking at the Brazils, the USAs, yan ang tinitingnan. But of course, if you're put in a position of power, you would be under a microscope and you would be forced to bring out the best in everyone.
Yes.
You need to elevate elevate the sport, which is right now, I would go at it na they are as popular as basketball with the youth. Right now on this generation. Kaya it's very good for the sport. It's very good for the country. It's very good for the volleyball players, both male and female, dito sa Pilipinas.
For me, it couldn't have come at a better time. Echoing what Coach Hammer said, volleyball is seasoned in the Philippines. It's ready. It's ripe. My nephew and nieces, like lalo na for the girls, no, they now have a sports to really embrace to dati kasi nung we were growing up talagang basketball natin. Ngayon may volleyball na for everyone to enjoy. And this couldn't have come at a better time because what it will do is, number one, it will put Philippines on the map. Since we are ready, we now have access to the global stage. We will be more visible. Games will be held here. It's the international stage coming to the Philippines. And we need that bridge. Number two, we will also have, access to resources, for the support, for the coaching, for the programs, the organizations. We will now have access for that, and we will be able to not only develop the passion, but also the skill set that we need to compete in the global stage. So, this might not yield big benefits in the near future, but for sure in the long run, I can see volleyball on the same level, not only in terms of popularity or passion, but also in terms of skill set, talent that we're gonna harvest from within. In the future, pantay na siya sa basketball, and that's that's very, very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, Philippines itself, diba? Kaya nga natatawag tayong basketball country dahil nasa taas ang basketball. Ang kasunod dyan, volleyball. But then, hindi rin naman natin napapag-usapan ng ibang sports. Like futsal was just recently.
Dito naglaro,
diba? But that's for another discussion. But any last thoughts, guys?
Well, with volleyball per se, it's a very big deal. Kasi I have fond memories here when the first World Volleyball Grand Prix. I think it was not the first, but it was the first one that I know. I think I was in grade 8, so second year high school ako. That was a lifetime ago. I was able to watch one, Leila Barros, and my favorite, Mauricia Cacciatori, setter ng Italy. And that batch opened up the eyes of Filipinos. Kasi una-una magaganda sila, magagaling maglaro, and pagkatapos ng laro, kahit para silang mga barako maglaro, very feminine, and they were very accommodating to the fans. So that opened the eyes of the next generation of volleyball players that might or might have not affected itong sila Alaysa na naglalaro. And then sila Alaysa now, it amplifies, and then ngayon world stage, yun nga, access to bigger events na dadalhin dito sa atin, and we can showcase our country, tourism, and talent. So it's everything works hand in hand, and it's a perfect motion right now. And hopefully we can maximize this window rin for volleyball to further grow the game and further grow the talent pool that we have to compete internationally.
So, congrats for that.
Yeah.
Okay, now of course, our NBA recap. So, eto na.
Masyado maraming close games.
NBA recap.
Una yung pinakamagandang game, yung Orlando.
Ayan.
My squad without Pablo Banchero, but game winner, Wagner.
Yeah.
For the win. Very good game to, very good game. Both teams had runs for a period of time, lumamang na 10 yung Lakers, but again, this Orlando squad. Ito, yan ang squad ko. Kahit sa NBA 2K, yan ang ginagamit ko. Naiinis yung daughter ko kasi pag naglalaro kami ng 2K, yung pinakamadaling rookie level lang, 12 years old. Pero pag dumidepensa ako, alam mo, Final Four ng NC. But I really like Jalen Suggs, the way that this team is competing. They have numerous competitive people in that squad, and I like the way that they're playing. Good game winner, and Anthony Davis had a chance to steal it but was not able to knock down that shot.
Ikaw, ano sabihin mo nag-highlight dito?
Both Lakers and Magic, kaya sinasabi ko, Chammer, it was such a good game. They're both playing great basketball.
The right way, no?
The right way.
Playing the right way.
The Orlando, we're talking about surprises a while ago. A surprising team is the Orlando Magic this year, and they're moving the ball well. Palag sila this year. And then the Lakers as well. LeBron is averaging, double-digit assists for the past few games. and it's telling you how they're playing at a very different style of play this year. And you would love it to see, the Kings still succeed at this late in this. And it's prime television, it's prime for sports. And so these two teams are, you gotta look out for them for the playoffs because they might, makakabulag tong dalawang teams.
Okay.
I like veteran LeBron.
But between the game, Minnesota Timberwolves against Toronto Raptors, is this a surprise?
This game was fast.
Yeah.
This game was fast. Toronto is one of the best fast-breaking squads. They can catch you on your on any bad day dahil madiin sila maglaro. RJ Barrett, looking like an all-star, Maple Kobe. So he's really good, and Greedy Dick also played really well in this game. Na hindi ganun karami yung na-shoot niya on offensively, but the way that he has been the point of attack of this squad dahil perimeter-based sila, ang bilis tumakbo ng mga players ng Toronto. Of course, Minnesota was still one of the contenders. Anthony Davis tried to heat up in the second half, pero kinapos lang sa dulo with timely stops by the Raptors.
Yes. They lost, the Wolves did, but again, they're still trying to figure out a lot of things with the transition and the changes this year, but it's still, a top Western team, even if they're trying to figure it out.
Would you leave Gobert as your final
No.
on your finishing five? Sinong finishing five mo sa kanila? Mas magnanazari. Ako kasi gusto ko yung DiVincenzo nandun rin. Nasrid, Randle.
I would even go as far as Randle and Gobert out.
Sino 4 mo?
Si McDaniel.
Jaden McDaniels, Nasrid. Small ball ka.
Yes, small ball.
DiVincenzo Conley. Para mas steady ka.
But again, it's gonna depend on sino kalaban nila. Di ba? But feel ko kasi iti-trade si Randle somewhere along the line.
Kasi
feel ko iti-trade siya.
Giannis sa Antetokounmpo. Lagi ako Giannis yung biggest na trading piece, pero he would end up with Golden State. I'm telling you. I am telling you. Yeah, I just feel it and I can smell it in the air.
Alright, just to mention, Detroit Pistons against Charlotte Hornets, 121-123.
That's a good game too. That's a good game. High-scoring ball game. Kate Cunningham, of course, leading that pack, but there's something about Isaiah's story that just rubs people the wrong way. He would always be in the middle of something in every game. In this game, ganun na naman in the second quarter, but again, he is there for a reason. And Detroit trying to really up and down din yung lalaro nila eh. Hindi nila but Charlotte welcomes the production of Brandon Miller up and down then. Lost for a few games and then now getting back in rhythm, and that helps a lot sa kanilang atake dahil hindi lang pwedeng purong si LaMelo Ball ang magdo-dominate ng headlines for them.
He's entertaining this year. For me, he's putting up numbers.
Yeah, he's very entertaining. But the shoes, man, has to do something with it. He always gets injured with those sneakers.
Okay, lastly, Utah Jazz against San Antonio Spurs, 118-126.
Utah Jazz needs to trade Lauri Markkanen.
We will gladly accept him.
Another piece
in the Bay Area.
Another piece that can be moved before the trade deadline. Lauri Markkanen. If I was one of the squads that needs a big man, let's say, sino bang team ang walang legit center? We can talk about the Knicks para meron. Kasi wala pa sila Mitchell Robinson. Pwede sila magtanong doon sa Walker Kessler. Package something up, pero nandun pa si Karl Anthony Towns who gives up the best field goal percentage on the opponent's side when he's the rim protector, but that's a different subject for a different day. But the Utah Jazz is a team in flux, really trying to get themselves on one Cooper flag.
So I would say also the other team who beat them.
Parang ito mga tanking
season.
Pero I mean, if you have Chris Paul, mahirap mag-tank kasi so hyper competitive si Chris Paul, and they have good pieces, and of course Wemby will be Wemby league leader in blocks. And looking a little bit shaking off the rust kasi parang rusty siya to start off the season. Medyo konti yung pahinga niya kasi syempre after 1 year nag-Olympics ka pa, konting-konti yung window mo to recover. You get 2 weeks to recover, and then mag-build up ka naman for a long season. Now he's getting his legs under him.
Alright, it's time for our SPN expert picks. So, first, Indiana versus Milwaukee Bucks.
I picked Indiana here. Indiana. Oh, I picked Indiana just because they're looking to bounce back off a loss. And both teams are inconsistent this year. Medyo, this is not the squads that we're expecting them to be. And in one time or another, they would find their rhythm. For Milwaukee, they just don't know their hierarchy. Kung tayo na figure out na natin sa Pilipinas yung hierarchy natin, yung Milwaukee, hindi pa nila alam when game will take over, how they can maximize the shot making of Giannis, even though he is the #1 scorer in the NBA right now. Yan yung production. But I'm picking Indiana here, just because.
Right. I'm also picking Indiana here just because both of these teams are trying to find their rhythm. So this would be sort of like a sukatan game for them.
Katsu, maraming ganyan dito.
So,
Oh!
for this one it's more of okay. They're trying to measure up because these are two contending teams in the playoffs, and so they're trying to find their rhythm. And I think the Pacers, the team that they have this year, I think it's easier for them to compete against the Milwaukee Bucks, who are, like I said, trying to find their rhythm still. So yeah, Pacers. Expert pick.
Okay, next. So, Dallas and Denver.
Hindi ko maalala yung pinig ko, pero I think I picked Dallas just because I like Russell Westbrook. But again, Denver, I picked Denver on this game. Denver needs a lot more out of MPJ. Dahil Jamal Murray, MPJ, Nikola Vucevic, and Aaron Gordon will be the guys that would only go as far as these four go. Russell Westbrook would do Russell things. He's one of the better teammates in the NBA. His production would be iffy, inconsistent at times, but his effort would always be there. That's one thing. They needed a dog. They needed a dog like Bruce Brown. Ang laki nung nawala sa kanila eh. Ako, I really think that Bruce Brown was a big part of that championship. And they needed a pitbull like him. So yun yung finifill na role ni Russell Westbrook. Pero mahaba pa yung season, I think dito ang pinik ko dito Denver. If I'm not mistaken. I'm picking Denver.
Right. Me, I will pick Dallas just because this is a 3 versus 2 game. 3 points versus 2 points. And in the past, whenever Dallas matches up with a not so good 3-point shooting team, currently Denver isn't, they really are successful. And so, nahirapan sila pag 3-point shooting team din yung kalaban nila, pero nakakadepensa. But in this case, I think 3s are more valuable than the 2s of Denver. So I think Dallas will come out victorious.
Tsaka gusto ko panoorin yung matchup Lively and Gafford versus Jokic. Kasi laging the tall guys that are athletic gives Jokic the fits.
Yeah.
Yun yung one of the things that the Minnesota Timberwolves did, the LA Lakers did to neutralize Joker.
Okay, next. So, Sacramento versus LA Clippers.
I'll pick Sacramento. I'll pick Sacramento on this game.
I pick Sacramento because tinalo nung Clippers yung Warriors ko. So,
bawi.
Bawiin nyo. Bay Area. I really like the Kings matching up with the Clippers. But, you can't count how well the Clippers are playing currently. Medyo they're proving a lot of haters wrong. But still, I think it's a good matchup for the Kings. So I think Kings will win over the Clippers.
Alright. Sige, go ahead.
Go. No, they're just my third team in NBA 2K. Dahil favorite ko yung jumper. Pagka
Sino?
naka-pose up DeMar DeRozan.
Sinabi mo yung first mo. Sinabi mo yung third. Sino yung second?
Orlando, Cleveland, at saka itong Sacramento. Those are my... But we play on the rookie level. You know. Para lang for fun na lang po si Coach Hammer. Dahil hindi ko na kaya yung trash talk
For
na
one,
Kasi pagka si Coach Hammer, naglaro na ng online, tapos trash talk na baka bigla akong pumasok doon. Hindi na kasi dial up ngayon. So.
Okay, just to recap. So, both of you agreed na Pacers.
Yep.
And then eto, kaso nga lang, Denver, Dallas. Sino kayo mananalo sa inyong dalawa? And lastly, Sacramento Kings. Kayo parehas.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, now it's time for our comments.
Tayo mga night. Gusto ko makita yung mga night.
So, for me, sore loser lang talaga si Corey Webster. Ha ha ha. Thoughts?
Pagka natalo talaga, wala namang natalong masaya eh. Ewan ko
Honestly,
Ewan ko May
lagi
mga nakikita
kinakasyon
ako.
ng referee.
May nakikita ako na may mga iba naman kasi natatalo na masaya. Baka panalo sa ibang bagay.
Meron din mga nananalo na hindi masaya.
Oo, baka minimum na times 3 lang yung bonus, hindi yung binigyan ng times 7. Pero ganun talaga eh. Pag talo, sayang lagi. Hindi, sa amin, naubusan lang kami ng oras eh. Ay, hindi, nagkagulo eh. Ay, hindi, dinaya kami ng referee. Sa pili ka na lang dyan. Tsaka nasa Pilipinas, valid ba yung mga ganong excuse?
Thank you for that comment,
Yes.
Paul. We wholeheartedly agree with you.
Next comment.
Or loser talaga.
Sana lang makahanap ng import na same ang laruan kay JB nagdadala ng team. Kahit kaya niyang dalhin ng team, binibigyan niya ng time pa din ibang player, pero pag need talaga score niya, kaya niya din ibigay. I don't see Kwame na magbibigay ng instant impact.
Different type of player. Ange Kwame is a role-playing big guy.
Yes.
He would get rebounds, he would play defense, but anything more than 12 foot from the rim, don't expect him to shoot that shot. That's for me, Excuse me. And mas magiging fit siya when, again, babalikan ko pagka umakyat na tong Carl Tamayo. Carl nandiyan dyan, Kevin Kiambao, Luis Pablo, Seven Gagate, sino ba mga shooter na? Yukian Andrade, my boy, of course. Hopefully, he gets a look. He gets a look for Gilas because right now at premium is guys with size that can make threes.
Ganda ng kamay ni
Oo. So pagka shot maker ka from the outside and si Jomel Puno din. Kasi we have two of those guys, one 6'8" guy who plays the wing and one 6'5" power forward who can shoot from 3. But yun yung mga titignan na mas bagay si Ange na maging parte ng squad. But right now, Justin Brownlee, mahirap palitan yan. Parang mga Norman Black, Sean
Pero
Chambers.
kung kailangan,
Darating yung panahon talaga, kailangan palitan. Kahit si Andre Blatch, pinalitan.
Right.
Naglalaro sa Gilas, out of shape eh. Pero darating talaga yung panahon and we just hope that we can find somebody who is not even the measurables and the skill set, who has the heart to play and lay it all on the line because that's what we appreciate from Kuya Justin. Na talagang hindi ako uuwi na may laman yung bag ko. Ubus na ubus. Kailangan kaladgarin niyo ako pa uwi sa sobrang walang natitira.
pero kudos kay Kwame naglaro siya sa front.
Laban niya, syempre. Laki, 6'11 eh. Anong gagawin niya? Mahirap magtrabaho sa bangko pag 6'11 ka. Hirap maghanap ng leather shoes. Diba? Pag gano'n yun, sinasabi ko kay Cliff Hopia nun. Cliff, mahirap maging bankero na 6'9". Walang leather shoes. Kaya maglaro ka ng maayos. Okay na ko, starting center lang yun. Wala ko.
Shout out to you and shout out to my neighbor.
Yep.
What is up? Okay, next comment. Kai Soto traded to CM Farm.
Legal na bus. Mahirap yan. Baka maubos yung budget ng CM Farm. Uy, Coach Chelito Cars, magandang araw sa inyo dyan. Kasi si Marvin Hayes nasa CM Farm na. Si Marky nasa CM Farm na. Si Tanchong Bonganciso. Mga kalaro ko pa ito ng ligang labas eh. Si Shaq Imperial naglaro na sa CM Farm. Paano po lalabanan ng mga ligang labas sa Mindanao yung CM Farm? Dapat dito sumali na to na yung PBL eh. Yung ganyang kalakas na team. Lahat nandun.
lahat ng players nila nasa
At saka yung, ito yung, tawag ko dito yung patron saint ng import sa ligang labas, si Landry Sanjo. Bago pa nagkaroon ng Ben Embala, may Landry Sanjo na ayun, nagliligang labas pa rin sa Mindanao. Magagaling yung mga manlalaro dyan. Siyempre, kasi para dun sa mga nanonood sa SPNation, yung CM Farm, malaking commercial team yan. Hindi siya actually commercial team, pero marami siyang team na naglalaro sa mga inter-commercial leagues sa Cebu, sa Mindanao, sa South. So, karamihan ng mga players na Bisaya or mga kaibigan ng player na Bisaya na madidiin maglaro, dinadala nila doon. Yan, ganyan. Parang regional basketball sa atin. Kaya, hindi lang PBA. Siyempre, konti lang. Yung mga magagaling, yung mga nakaka-fill ng spots at mga pro, nakakalaro sa PBA. Pero hindi kang labas, yan yung mga napapanood nyo sa Facebook. Ang didiin maglaro niyan. Akala nyo ng lokohan, pero pag money game na, si Tanchong, Bonganciso, si Hellboy, laki ng kamay eh.
Okay, do we have any more comments?
Oh, meron pa dyan.
Ayan, with our success in basketball, sana ganun din sa volleyball. Makagoal na tayo sa Southeast
Yes.
Asia, yung promotion ni Sir Tat. Sobrang positive yan for sports.
Yes, we are praying for that. Ako, personally, kasi I have vested interest in volleyball. Eh. Parang, I played basketball, but I'm one of the biggest fans ng volleyball. Na talagang I really root for the sport to grow, and I'm so happy how college volleyball has been growing, and yung mga volleyball players natin na pumupukpok. Kasi madalang yung Santiago Sisters na nakakalaro abroad. Madi Madayag, si Gia Morado na nakalaro na sa Japan. Konting stats lang nun. But if we have a local professional league that is supported by big bankrollers that can develop talent, at least these ladies that graduated from college, who have degrees, can work and also play professional volleyball. Kaya ako, I'm so happy for the sport, and pati beach volleyball,
Yes.
diba? Na nag-grow. So that's something that it's a sight to behold, and hopefully we can continually nurture the sport.
What about you, Ael?
Same thing. As much as we are passionate about basketball, parang we're still trying to grind for that success, quote-unquote, in the global stage, diba? But in comparison to volleyball, nandun na din yung passion natin. Eh. And especially this promotion by Sir Tats, I think this will be a great first step moving forward in that direction. And so, siguro sa mga volleyball fans, huwag tayong maging masyadong critical pag hindi natin siya makuha pa in the immediate. But for sure, in the long run, makakamit din natin yan.
Oh, hirap kasi pagka Pilipino tas meron, magaling pa yung meron kaysa naglalaro. Kung magaling ka talaga, dapat nandurong ka. yun yung totoo. Dahil alam ng mga Pilipino, susunod kayo na yung patatay mountain. But kidding aside, we're happy for positive news the past few weeks in sports, and 2 big wins for 2 of our biggest sports, namely, of course, the Gilas winning and the Sir Tats getting one of those power spots in the FIVB.
And our last comment.
Yun pala yung comment.
Yun.
So, at mga taga-SPNation, maraming salamat for the whole week.
Yes,
Ganda
thank you, guys.
Ganda ng discussion natin for this week.
Yes. So sports fans, if you're ready to elevate your sports experience, dive into the world of live sports like never before with Sports Plus. Whether you're a diehard fan or simply love the thrill of the game, we've got you covered. So register now at sportsplus.ph. And if you guys wanna follow us, kindly follow us on our social media accounts at sportsplus.ph. Kanina ka pa dyan, Coach.
NCAA Final Four over the weekend. Mapua versus LPU tomorrow, and then San Beda CSB right after. Watch it on GTV and Heart of Asia. Big games yun.
And may Sunday Gilas Hong Kong game.
Yes.
Anong spread dyan? Ako tingin ko. Ito, over-under 55.
Ayan.
55. Kasi 40 yung inilamang sa ala. Special shout out to everyone who's supporting Gilas. Wear blue on Sunday.
Yes.
Wear blue.
Guys, don't forget our SPN expert picks as well. So thanks again for tuning in, guys. I'm your host, Cada Cortez. Together with me are Ael Banal and Coach Hammer Martin Antonio. Have a great weekend.
I was like on that last straw, and then I got the chance in the Philippines, and then I kind of guess my back was on the wall, and it just felt like I got to make this work.